So what does it mean I need a different file type or image type? Hello, my name is Chet Davis. I'm delighted to be your technology tutor. In today's quick tech tip for experts, authors, and entrepreneurs, I want to give a quick introduction to the 3 most common file types or image types that you'll find when you're working on promoting yourself, on marketing yourself on the internet. Now, this may be something you're working on yourself if you're a self-starter, and that's fine. Happy to help you. Maybe you're working with a publisher, maybe it's a client for an upcoming speech or presentation, and they're requesting a photo with a specific type. Well, let me go through the 3 most common types and briefly what they're used for and a very important distinction between 2 of them. So there's a number of different image types. We're going to cover the 3 most common internet image types or file types that you'll find in use today. First of all, there's something called the JPEG. The JPEG, sometimes referred to as JPG or JPEG. This is an acronym which is short for the Joint Picture Experts Group. It's a group of folks that came together that set up the format. It's what we call a lossy format. Lossy. It has the potential to lose some signal definition, some quality, some resolution, but in exchange, it gets you a very efficient sized image. In other words, it's smaller. We're going to cover the file types you'd normally find in a second, but JPEG or JPEG is very, very common. If you export a photo from most consumer photo programs, you're going to end up with a JPEG. The second most common image type found on the internet is a GIF. Most folks would argue is appropriately called a GIF. And a GIF, the graphic interchange file, really works well for small graphics, for line art, for that kind of things. And then we had the animated GIFs, and those animated GIFs you can see on Facebook, on Twitter, on the website, where they take a bunch of still pictures and animate them together. The third most common type is called PNG, which is the acronym for Portable Network Graphics. It's the newest of the 3, and depending on what you want to use, most folks are going to supply either a JPEG or a PNG file. Now, how do you see these? Let me show you here. The file type itself is what we call an extension. Most files on your computer have an extension, and that extension tells your computer what program to open it in and kind of what it is. Let's take a look briefly at the most common uses. So JPEGs are commonly used for photos. Okay, so full color photos with lots of details. A JPEG works fine on a website. Now, if you're a professional photographer and you're showing your work off at your latest show, or maybe a website where you're selling your prints, there are other file formats that you might want to use. But for most of us promoting ourselves, our headshots, our promo shots, shots of our product work, that kind of thing, a JPEG photo will do you well. Now, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of resolution, because you can have a small JPEG and it works fine in the right application, but trying to use that small JPEG and blow it up, you get ugly results, and we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Again, GIFs, used for simple graphics, line art, black and white images, that kind of thing, or animated GIFs. Most of us are probably not going to use the GIFs except for an avatar, something on our website, maybe a small version of a logo, a black and white logo, a line art logo. Now, the PNG file works great for logos. It is also what we call a lossless format. It can carry lots of information, but it compresses it as well to make it very efficient on the internet, so it doesn't take a long time to download. Also, PNG, which you can't get in a JPEG or a GIF, a PNG has what we call an alpha channel or transparency. Let me show you what I mean. Here's my logo for your technology tutor. They look identical, right? 2 different versions of the same logo. They are actually 2 different files. One is a JPEG and the other is a PNG file. Let me show you what's different. Right now they're both on a white background and they look identical. But when we move the logo on the left over a colored background, you see it retains the color because that white color is part of the image itself. It's part of the file. On the right, when we move that over a colored background, the transparency comes through. Those are the two different file types. On the left, we have the JPEG or the JPEG, and the background is part of the image. On the right, we have a PNG, the Portable Networks graphic file. That has the ability to retain transparency. Now, that has to be programmed when it's created. And if you're working with an artist who's creating a logo for you, you can ask for different versions. In fact, I highly recommend you get a couple different versions of your logo so that you can work like this. If you have questions on today's episode, I encourage you to go ahead and put them below, and I'll be happy to follow up. I look forward to connecting with you in tomorrow's episode as we talk about resolution importance for your images.